TikTok the other day. And I realized now I can move. Yes. Now I can move this stuff. I'm just thinking. This is gifts from children. This is not. And I didn't like that being together. This is going to go a very limited space here. I don't want to knock anything over. It's all very precarious. I'm sure you can imagine. See, I'm shaking. There we go. And then I need to get the stuff to hang it, so it's not going to be right now. This is going to go right there. So good. Or maybe I'll do it up like that. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that and put the phone down in here. Yes. Perfect. Ow. Oh, and then the on the air sign is going to go right here. I realized I had so much space over here. Like, why was I committed to the on the air being on the shelves? It hangs from the ceiling. It can literally go right here. Duh. Sorry about that. That was flattering. I feel like this jacket is not flattering. It's a Juicy Couture jacket. It says Bride on the back. It's really cute. Or you can't really tell. It's like down there. But I feel like they kind of fell off on quality. I don't know. I'm very excited for our stream tonight. I put a lot of research into this. I wish I had time to watch the Hulu documentary, but I didn't. I only watched the Netflix one. Bullshit. But this is fucking crazy. This is crazy. Let me just tell you. I went into this being like, oh, I know a bunch of like high profile people got exposed for cheating. And I thought that's what we were going to talk about. The stuff going on inside the company. Okay. It is actually insane. Also, I got my nails done today and they did these New Jersey ass nails on me and I kind of hated it, but I was just like ready to leave and I liked the color. I just didn't like how the shape turned out. And so I was like, I could have asked them to fix it, but I just was ready to go. Like I had to work on this. I was just done being there. And I was like, whatever, I'll just file it at home. Because last time I went, I said coffin, and it was way too coffin-y. So this time I said square, and it's way too square. So I think if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And I go to kind of a cheap place. So, like, you get what you pay for. But anyway, they're growing on me. I kind of like them now. Happy summer break from a fellow history teacher. Oh, my God, we literally have so much to do tonight. My head just started to hurt really bad. That's perfect. I just washed my hair. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on politically. We have 2 Barbies now. Let me turn the other way, actually. Now you can see we have Teacher Barbie and we have President Barbie. And I am both of those Barbies. Everyone, I watched last week's VOD the other day and wanted to share this with everyone. Sean Merriman, the NFL player that was mentioned last week, is a suspect in the murder of Kimberly Fattorini, I guess. In 2017, her case is covered on the Playboy Murders, Season 3, Episode 1. The name did sound familiar, but I'm not into football. You're lying! Baja Blasted. I had a Baja Blast today. It was so good. You are lying, Rain 1929. Thank you. That is the best first-time chat I've ever gotten. Holy shit. That's crazy. A burnt down parking lot. Thanks for subscribing for a year. Oh my God, we've been together for a year. Watching you at work again. You're on the TV. iPhone storage, where do you work? I want to know what establishment I'm on television at. That name is a curse to be criminal. No, for real. Like, I'm scared. So, the Ashley Madison hack. Let's get into it. We are drinking tonight. Probably not going to help my headache, but whatever. I just really want it. Tell them tapered square. Yeah, I could have done that, but I don't know. I kind of like being Carmela Soprano. I might keep it. Let me turn all my shit on Do Not Disturb so I can really be locked in right now. Do not disturb until tomorrow morning. My glasses are so dirty. Do I have like a tissue or anything? Oh my God, that's disgusting. Disgusting. Tonight's gonna be good though. I'm excited. Also tomorrow, if any of you are in Nashville, tomorrow I'm performing, that feels weird to say, at Zany's with the Unteachables comedy tour. They invited me as a guest. I'm really excited. I'm like kind of nervous, but I'm really excited and I think it'll be fun. So if you're in Nashville, they only have a couple tickets left. They're almost sold out. So if you're in Nashville and you want to see me tomorrow, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I have a job interview for a teaching position. Ooh, risky move. Good luck though. You should post clips of your tour comedy. So I went to like a... Okay, so when people say open mic, you would think you can just get up there and talk. That's not how it works. Open mics, like, they book them in advance. So I did one of those last week, and my fiance filmed it, and I'm not going to post it, mainly because it's just, like, kind of shoddy iPhone footage, and, like, it's hard to hear and see, and it's just, like, very low-quality footage. But it was good to see myself. This one, I have a feeling I'll have higher quality stuff, so if they're cool with it, because, again, like, it's not my tour, I'm a guest. So if they're cool with it, I'll post it, and they'll probably film it, I would assume. Like, if you're going to go through the hassle of being on tour, I might as well record it. Okay, if you're chronically online like me, you may not learn anything from the Ocean Gate doc on Netflix. I might do Ocean Gate for a stream, but, like, the vast majority of the stream, we would just be reading tweets. That's, like, kind of it. That's all we'd be doing for the most part. But that's not what we'll be doing tonight. I need to really get it going and focus. Like, I keep saying that, but it's still not happening because we have, like, 90 slides to get through. Like I said, I was really locked in on making this over the last couple days. So let me just give you the TLDR. If you've never heard of Ashley Madison, you don't know what's going on. So this happened in 2015. A group called the Impact Team announced that they stole the user data on Ashley Madison. Ashley Madison is a dating website designed for married people looking to have affairs. That's their whole thing. So they said, we're going to release this if you don't shut the website down. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I really didn't spoil anything, but that's probably, if you've heard of Ashley Madison, this is kind of what they're known for. So let's get into what is it. It was launched in 2002, so early days of internet dating. Ashley Madison, or the Ashley Madison Agency, is an online dating service and social networking site launched in 2002, marketed to people who are married or in relationships who are looking for affairs. I'll never forget being an intern on a construction site when they went down. Low-key thought Ashley Madison was a person. Well, Holly Madison is a famous person, so I can see where you would get those two confused. Their slogan is, life is short, have an affair. So, like, it's not just like, oh, we know people are using it for affairs and, like, we're cool with it. It's, like, very direct, this is why we created this website. Right? The slogan is insane work. There's a lot of memes tonight. Now that I'm back in the driver's seat, there's a lot of memes. And it feels good to have my priorities back in check. I'm so fucking happy about these Barbies. Can I just say, every time I look at the Barbies, I'm happy. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. There's a piece of lint flying around. The peach, Mike's Hard Lemonade. Very good. Who makes this and is like, yeah, this is doing good for the world? I don't think they... Well, they did say that, actually. So anyway, here's their website. There's the slogan, life is short, have an affair, over 37 million members. It says 100% discreet, trusted security awards, secure, all this, blah, blah, blah. The first I heard of Ashley Madison when listening to a video in the memoir of some lady's insane open marriage. Okay, so I'm going to show you some ads from them and things of that nature. Like, that's the point. Jail! Jail! Poor actors had bills to pay. Do not fault the actors. Fault the artist, not the paint. I have to assume the creators of this are happily married. Buckle the fuck in on that one is all I have to say. So like I said, founded, some people say 2001, some people say 2002, by Darren Jane Morgenstern, a French-Canadian entrepreneur. They were based in Canada, but were used worldwide. Based on the statistic that 30% of users on dating sites were already married. One day he heard that statistic that on like eHarmony, Match, because like 2002, 30% of the people on there were married. And he was like, oh my God, we should make a website for that. What I will say is, like, I will recognize this is a good way to make money. Is it evil? Yes. It is a good way to make money. So the name comes from the two most popular female names in North America at the time, Ashley and Madison. Ashley Madison. So the site operated on a freemium model. Freemium is kind of like Hinge and Tinder do this as well. It's free, but to get certain features, you have to pay for it. So men had to pay for messaging credits on the website. So it was not based in the same, or it was, the business model was not the same as Match or eHarmony, because Match and eHarmony, you pay per month and it's like a flat fee, like once you're in, you're in. But this, you have to like basically buy credits to be having the conversation. One of the members, always the man has to be the one buying the credits, has to buy 8 credits to initiate the conversation. And then the follow-up messages are complimentary after they start communicating. And they had a real-time chat feature where credits bought a certain time allotment for how long you could chat, I guess. So microtransactions, yes. Then why are you married? If you want to be on dating sites, maybe don't get married. Just a thought. The site allows users to hide their account profiles for free, so they can basically hide themselves. So say like you make an account and you're like, never mind. It doesn't cost any money to hide you, like you don't show up when people search. But to actually fully delete the profile is $19. And the full delete option says they will delete your profile, they'll delete all your data, all your messages, any of your like search history on there, your credit card info, your photos, because you could send photos within the thing or within the website, because keep in mind, we're not really at apps yet, we're on websites. Your hacker was really down bad. So you could pay $19 to delete everything. Charging to delete is crazy. No, it really is. So they offered a guarantee that you will find someone or you get your money back. But in order to qualify for the guarantee, you had to get the most expensive package, which is you can give priority messages to 18 members each month for 3 months, 5 Ashley Madison gifts per month, and engage of 60 minutes of paid chat per month. Compounding the problem is that more men than women use the service, and the disparity increases as they advance in age. Men seek sex while women seek passion. So literally like a horrible business model. Like literally a truly evil business model. A page on Ashley Madison was titled, "Is Ashley Madison a scam? Is Ashley Madison a fraud?" And they address some of these things in an attempt to win over prospective customers. So that is on an archived site. Here, we can just actually go over to it. What's the worst that could happen? Archive internet things are like actually low-key really impressive. I ran out of shampoo and I used a different one and I feel like it feels weird. It's not loading. Okay, let me try this again. If something gets fucked up, it was storming here really badly and the power flickered, so I'm sorry. Okay, so this is like a web archive from their website, so that's why it like looks kind of shitty. Is Ashley Madison a scam? Absolutely not. When you surf the internet, you might come across some former dissatisfied members who decided to post rants and raves. These are anecdotal evidence. We have plenty of positive reviews. We guarantee blah, 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 blah. So they're saying it's not a scam, it's not a scam, it's not a scam. If you have to say it's not a scam, that does raise my eyebrow. So these are some of the filters you could have on the website. Another unique thing about them compared to their competitors, eHarmony, Match, whatever, you could filter much more specifically. You could filter by height, you could filter by weight, you could filter by hair color, eye color, ethnicity, lots of different things, and intentions and relationship goals. So cyber affair, anything, discreet, short-term, long-term, friendship, whatever. So some people were using it for hookups. A lot of people were using it for like sexting and pictures and things like that. But it's very, I'm showing you all of this to paint a picture of what exactly this website is about. And it's very, very clear. You can filter by photos, new members only, last login, different sexual activities, turn-ons, kinks, preferred pace, willingness to experiment. You can filter by all that stuff. So it's like, they are really, and like the preferences and things like that, I think that's fine if it wasn't cheating. Like, I'm not going to yuck somebody's yum. What you want to do is what you want to do, whatever. But the weight kind of kills me a little bit. So, Noel Biderman became, I would think it's Noel, but in the documentary, everyone called him Noel. So that's what I'm going to call him. He became the CEO in 2007. Avid Life Media is the company that owns Ashley Madison, and Avid Life Media, like Ashley Madison is their main thing. Like that's the main company, part of the company. It was a privately held company. They owned and operated various dating websites, most notably Ashley Madison. And like I said, headquartered in Toronto, Canada. So responding to critics, he said that Ashley Madison does not promote infidelity. Shut the fuck up. He said, we're just a platform. No website or 30-second ad is going to convince anyone to cheat. People cheat because their lives aren't working for them. He positioned himself not just as CEO, but as chief marketer. So he's doing the marketing as well as the CEOing. And used his family's, like, him and his wife were in the media a lot, marketing for the company. He crafted the public's company on, or the company's public narrative on infidelity and marital relations. He said that he writes the commercials for his company. So lots of them, one that is one of their most famous ones, but I could not find it on YouTube anywhere. It's basically like, I don't even want to call it softcore porn because it's not even that much. Like, it shows like kissing on vague skin and sheets moving. Like, you really don't see anything, but you get the point. And it's like kissing and sexy music. And it says, this couple is married. It's daylight. So it's like, oh my God, this like sexy love scene in the middle of the day. How hot. And then it says, this couple is married, but not to each other. So like they had really well-known marketing, and like, I'll be honest, some of the commercials are effective. Like, they're good at commercials and they're funny. Bro really said, cheaters gonna cheat. I'm just giving them a platform. He's like, I'm simply giving the cheaters a platform and giving them the ability to filter by sexual desire and height and weight. What's evil about that? Biderman marketed Ashley Madison on focusing on married women instead of married men, because he said he was very confident that men would gravitate toward the service because they were seemingly doing it already. And so that's why a lot of his marketing was directed at women and trying to get more women on the platform. So I cannot confirm if he wrote these specific commercials, but he was CEO and said he was writing commercials during this time. So I have to believe this was him.
Hello? No, I'm not busy.
Have you ever found yourself on a really bad blind date? Now imagine that date lasting the rest of your life.
Yeah, I have to go. Happy anniversary, honey.
Isn't it time for AshleyMadison.com?
And like that, like, you think it's a first date, it's horrible, and it's a married couple and their anniversary dinner. And I think that this is a good ad for a couple reasons. One, I love like a corny 2000s ad. Two, it has a disruption of what you think it is. Good ads are ads that make you notice and think. So for an ad to disrupt what you expect, that means that like it's capturing your attention. And I think millions of women can resonate with that feeling. I agree, that feeling means it's time for divorce, not affair, but just feeling like ignored and not valued and not special within your relationship. I think that's something that a lot of women go through. So I think that them displaying it in this like comedic disruption of expectations way was a very effective advertising. I want to send that to my boss to convince her to leave her house. I'm thinking about starting a Cameo, and like that's kind of what I want to market it, is like you can hire me and like give me the backstory and I'll convince your boss and like send it anonymously or something. Would you guys buy that? Or like, I would start off making it like $5 mainly. I just want to be messy is like the main thing. Like I think it would just be funny. I think it'd be a funny little bit. We didn't see this. Sorry. We already saw the song. This one is not pro women. So what I will say, the first one was like, oh, the woman is the one that's miserable. And I was in favor of that ad. I think it was a good ad. This one, the man isn't happy, so I hate it. I think this one's horrible and misogynistic and wrong.
Most of us can recover from a one-night stand with the wrong woman. But not when it's every night for the rest of our lives. Isn't it time for AshleyMadison.com?
So it's kind of the same thing. Like it's a one-night stand, but then it's his wife. It's really like the same ad, except this one's stupid and not funny. So more on the CEO. This is his philosophy on cheating. He said they didn't create cheaters, they simply met existing demand. And frequent affairs could save people's marriages by giving them an outlet. He also wrote a book called How Infidelity Will Save the Modern Marriage, which exemplified his provocative stance on the subject. So again, he became CEO in 2007, wrote a book in 2011. Seems like he's kind of here to stick around. Boo, hiss, not even funny. Just husband isn't attracted to the wife. Exactly, because the other one, the husband sucked, and this one, the wife was just sleeping. Like, what were her crimes? I'd like to know. So he said the CEO, Noel, used guerrilla and controversial marketing. He was also frequently on television himself. He went on The View, Larry King Live, The Tyra Banks, Howard Stern Show, and often appeared alongside his wife Amanda to double down on the company's faithful family man narrative. So this is him and his wife. We probably won't watch all of these because they're kind of long.
Since 2002, the website Ashley Madison gives married people who want to cheat on their spouses the ability to just point and click their way to an extramarital affair. And the co-founder and CEO and his wife are here to tell us why they say they're actually offering a public service that can help save marriages. Please welcome Noel and Amanda Biderman. Welcome. Noel, you were actually a real-life hot topic with us back in 2009, and today the website AshleyMadison.com has 17 million clients. Now, is it true it's a 90 million
Being married
business?
to him is
Yeah,
bananas.
it's accurate. We've probably tripled our business since you and I spoke, a number of years back.
Okay, so how is that? Why is the success rate so high? How does it actually work? How do you make money?
I think the success rate is foundationally based on female infidelity. I think men have always had their outlets,
let's speed this
universal
up.
outlets. I think the internet is changing how women are pursuing unfaithfulness, and Ashley Madison's at the forefront of that.
But when somebody signs on, many houses just have one computer or whatever. Just does the cheating partner and the other one know about it, or is it?
No, this is all about discretion.
This is all secret.
It's all being driven by mobile devices. iPhones are one of our, 40% of our female traffic comes from people using their iPhone, or people use their work computer. So they're not doing it on the couch beside their partner. They tend to do it in a discreet room with discreet place.
You two
And
have been
he's
married
balding.
for 10 years.
10 years,
Is that
yeah.
true? But I understand that you disagree on whether this really helps. And you say that this keeps a marriage stronger, that one or the other can, cheat. And you
genuinely
say
do.
no, it's destructive. Give us your points of view.
Ooh.
Well, cheating is destructive in a relationship, absolutely devastating. But we have found over the years there are situations where it has helped convince somebody to stay with somebody or help somebody have an outlet where they needed it and they can be happy in their lives.
In general, you're against it.
In general, it's
just make money from it, but you're against it.
it's a destructive thing, and I hope that, and I have traditional values, and I live in a traditional situation with Noel, and we
You have
don't
a
have an open
monogamous relationship?
Yes, absolutely, and I would be devastated if he did it to me, but I would not blame a website. Ashley Madison is not creating cheaters. It is servicing a need that is there, that exists, and unfortunately it exists. It's sad, but
And no, you think it actually helps marriages?
I think
Is
it
that
helps
correct?
people with an alternative to divorce. Yes, I do think a lot of people look at their lives
An
and say,
alternative to
I didn't sign up
divorce?
to be a nun.
I do
wasn't
like
interested
these, I
in the
think.
priesthood. Celibacy doesn't work for me. And so they find themselves in a sexless marriage. They're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. And for many, infidelity becomes that life preserver. It allows them to stay within the marriage and focus on raising kids together while pursuing something on the
Is
side.
that an honest marriage, though, right? Because this is not an open marriage. So I guess I would ask the question, because I tend to turn to a resource. I'm reading a book that's actually coming out in May called The Marriage App by Dr. Friesen and his wife, but where I think it provides long-term help. I have yet to see a headline that said,
Oh my god, he's bald. He's bald and he's torturing people that have hair. That was funny.
Side effect of infidelity in a marriage. New study says it creates peace and happiness within the existing marriage.
Well, you say that. We can look to what's almost American royalty and Bill and Hillary Clinton with very public infidelity. They survived it. She learned to forgive him,
American
whatever that went on
royalty
between
is a
them.
joke.
And they are a quintessential couple that we all regard in high esteem, or most of us regard in high esteem.
Yeah, but
So I don't
most
think
people
that's the
regard
case.
that as a very sad part of their life. They don't say, wasn't this terrific? It really helped
So
their
often,
marriage.
Barbara, you have to have a sad part of your life that you can use as a launching pad to something more
Are
productive.
you just introducing them so they can communicate on the internet or something? Or are you actually introducing them physically?
No, it's all about communication on the internet.
You're not actually saying to these two people, meet Thursday at 3 and have a little going on.
It's
It's all on
a
the internet.
communication platform. You self-publish who
It's
you
all
are.
talk. It's all talk.
What brought you to an affair? And even there, there are so many people who sign up to Ashley Madison, send one message, and never come back to their profile again. So they dipped their toe in and found out it wasn't for them. And so even in that regard, it was you could sit there and say, hey, maybe those people then rededicated
But you're
themselves to their
not
marriage.
introducing them.
Well, they will introduce themselves to one another.
We have a couple more questions, including, even though you're against the idea of infidelity, why, Amanda, you are actually the face of Ashley Madison. More with Noel and Amanda when we come back.
The white pants. This is insane.
We are back talking with Noel Biderman, the co-founder and CEO of AshleyMadison.com, the website for married people who want to have an affair, and his wife, Amanda. Amanda, we were talking before the break about, though you don't believe that infidelity is a good thing ultimately, you are involved with this company. What in the beginning, but you're not the face of the advertising for it, which I guess leads me to the question, and there you are. So if you thought smoking was bad for you, would you appear on a billboard that promotes smoking? So where was the shift for you in terms of supporting
it? It's a business. I think if you polled the audience, everybody's going to say they disagree with it, with the cheating. I mean, people don't do it and don't believe in it. So, having myself up there, in my mind, it's going to spawn on some conversations amongst married people who don't even talk about this issue. This issue is such a prevalent issue going on in our society, and nobody wants to address it. How about what if a happily married man and woman see this advertising and start talking about how they feel about it?
Oh, I have it on point 1.25. They're not talking that fast.
I just want everyone to see how pretty my wife was.
But also, and you're very gorgeous, but if we personalize it, because you are traditionalist, like you said, if your husband was cheating on you, would you be okay with him going to a site such as yours with him saying, I think it will help the marriage?
Absolutely not. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what
You don't practice what you preach.
No. For me, for my personal, I choose, just like anybody out there chooses. Everybody has a choice in life, which path they want to take. I don't live in a society where I want it to be censored for me. This is a choice. This is a business, and people are doing it. All I'm saying is if you bring the conversation front and center, more front and center, then maybe it's not as big. It can be broken down, and you can know how to address it.
This is not about a conversation. This is about
I'm so anti-cheating. I have to promote it.
You do not practice what you're preaching.
Right.
But I wanted to show a couple of the ads too that you have because they are somewhat political. This is one that features Newt Gingrich. It says, "Unfaithful husband. Welcome to Ashley Madison." Can you see that? Newt Gingrich. I'm sure that he's very happy to see this ad. Billboards. And now here's
I haven't
another
seen
one.
this.
This is Mitt Romney. If cheating on your taxes is okay, so is Ashley Madison.
Oh, I'm kind of living for it, actually, I think.
Life is short. Have an affair. Catch it.
Well, listen, I think when we are not afforded the same marketing opportunities that say that Match.com is, or really alcohol companies are afforded. We can't advertise in NFL football games. We might want to be there, but they won't allow us to. So when we advertise, we try to
they tried to do a football advertisement, and the NFL said no.
Thank you, Noel and Amanda Biderman. Have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy.
So yeah, that's them. The lucrative business of infidelity. At this point, they are now going international.
Where did you come up with this idea? I mean, I gotta say, because when they told me that you were gonna be here, I looked it up. It's number 7 on the 10 Commandments, man. I mean, how did you come up with this idea?
I think I was betting on the darker side of online dating. My hunch as an entrepreneur was that the infidelity economy, from a global perspective,
but
might
he
be
wasn't the
larger
original founder.
than the singles dating economy. That there's more people who were already in relationships of significance, but maybe wanted to do something on the side than people who wanted to get married. And so that's the thesis anyways. That's what we were betting on. And it turns out that, 18 million members later, we were probably right.
Amanda, what was your reaction when you found out that this was what he wanted to do?
Well, at first, I wanted to make sure it wasn't about me, that he wasn't sending, he wasn't having a midlife crisis. But there was a sound objective, and the strategy was there. And
his hunch is just his experience cheating on his wife.
It was hard to understand at first, but there was a business to be had.
18 million people,
yeah.
Right? Noel, explain the business model.
I was thinking, what other 10 commandments can be made into an app?
It has to do with something called getting credits. Why does that work?
A traditional dating site tends to function this way. You sign up, you give it about 3 months. You either find someone or the site's broken because it couldn't help you find the love of your life. Affairs don't tend to work that way. The busiest day on our server.
Is Amanda always there? Does she have like an actual role in the company? She does not, but she's heavily featured in the marketing materials. But I do not believe she had an official job.
The day after Father's Day, the day after New Year's, on their 39th birthday. And so what we wanted to do is give people a place to come and go at their leisure. So yes, it's a credit model that allows...
Did he just say we want to give people a place to go on their 39th birthday? How about a bar? How about a vacation? The beach? Like, I can think of so many places to go for your 39th birthday.
Them to kind of pay as they play, so to speak.
Pay as you play. As far as the actual technology is concerned, where do you keep all these computers? How do you keep it all running?
Yeah, dramatically different, right? Like when we looked at it, the perfect affair had two critical components: meeting someone and not being discovered. And so everything we did from day one was working on this discretionary model, signing up anonymously, not billing you under Ashley Madison. That would become something that your partner could detect. The ability not just to delete your profile, but to pull back any messaging you sent to anybody else. And yes, our servers are
the day after
in a
Father's
bunker
Day,
way offshore.
And how do you protect people's anonymity with this kind of service? Because we learned, for example, National Security Agency, they seem to have access to everything.
They can try, that's part of not, putting your servers in the wrong place and then adhering to the right rules and regulations. But when you sign up to Ashley Madison, it doesn't matter if you're a politician, you're an athlete or entertainer, I assure you they're on there, but we never ask them their names. We do this entirely anonymously. And so they build a user profile, put their pictures under lock and key, and only exchange it one-to-one to another member of the community.
Amanda, what kind of challenge has it been in terms of advertising? Because Noel just mentioned advertising on Sundays, for example, but you've had a lot of pushback from a variety of places. For example, the Super Bowl, they didn't want you to advertise with them.
Well, I think that the challenge is that people don't want to have the conversation. They're scared that there's a message to be had that people are actually having an affairs. So it's been a challenge.
I like how her stance is about censorship.
I think Noel and Ashley Madison have done a great job at that.
Where is the growth coming from? Is it in the United States? Is it North America? Women, give us some demographics.
The amazing thing is we called it Ashley Madison because we were betting on one thing, a societal change on female infidelity. That if you could look at the history of female infidelity, it was the workplace that had changed it for them, the economic freedoms, the social changes that came around divorce no longer being kind of a...
The workplace created female infidelity? When we gave women access to other men and their own money, they felt more comfortable to express their hatred of their husbands. Who would have thought?
Punishment, you could lose your kids because you were unfaithful, any of those kinds of things. And we thought the internet would be a greater evening of the playing field. And so female infidelity is on the rise. There's a couple of recent studies about that. We had bet on that 10 years ago. That's clearly played out. And then, yes, this behavior pattern, unlike traditional dating, is global. It's phenomenon. You can succeed in Toronto, Tokyo, and Tallahassee building an affair dating service.
And you're based in Toronto.
Yes, we're a Canadian company. That's right.
What's next for the company? I mean, do you want to go public? Do you want to sell the company?
It's a great question. When we first started this, we really did look at being, maybe a public company one day. I think the tide is starting to turn when the Spitzers and the Wieners of the world come back onto the stage and maybe can be forgiven for their personal decisions and what so-called indiscretions and be, reacclimated into society. That might be a trend that we see. And as that trend comes, maybe then Wall Street, Bay Street from Canada where we are, or maybe even the AIM in London would look at this business as something they want to fund.
And what about the funding right now? Is it self-funding?
This business was friends and family, believe it or not, a strange one, but actually going to a lot of close people saying, I think I'm right about this. I had some professional experience in it.
Do Canadians want to own this?
I thought there was a big economy
I don't think Canada gave consent.
We returned it within the first 6 months.
The first 6 months?
6 months.
It's a business for everything.
So yeah, super successful business. I see why. The business model, like I said, seems like a very effective way to make money. Here's another news clip.
You sat down before and you're saying, don't blame Ashley Madison for cheating. It's a marketplace. Buyers and sellers, we're just here to connect them. But don't you think you promote cheating?
Zenny, I also like
more accessible for those who are just thinking about it?
Well, I don't know that it needs any promotion, right? I think we do a good job of pursuing it all our own. I think what I do is...
Don't be racist to Canadians.
It does have collateral damage sometimes. You talked earlier about secondhand smoke. A single person on a single dating site wants no part of an affair. So bringing two like-minded people together, I think that's been the secret sauce behind Ashley Madison.
Dan, is Noel providing the world a service, connecting quote-unquote buyers and...
So you get the vibe. He goes on TV a lot. He is very much a part of the marketing. His wife is a part of the marketing. So let's talk about some of their... Was that other guy beat up or is that just his face? I have no idea. Let's talk about some of their other customer service practices. So like he mentioned, their billing does not come up on your credit card bill or whatever as ashleymadison.com, because fucking obviously. So their customer services representatives were trained to deflect and conceal the business when they were contacted by spouses, because Lots of married couples have very, very enmeshed finances. So like, let's say you share credit cards. I would see the credit card statement and be like, Ashley Madison, or I would see the credit card statement, not Ashley Madison, but they had like another name for it. I think it's on here. Digital entertainment platform or subscription service. If I see something on my credit card statement that says a digital entertainment platform, I didn't fucking buy that. Do you know what that is? No, I don't know. I'm going to call and be like, who the fuck is a digital entertainment platform? What is this? So let me show you how they handled this. So the employees were trained to deflect and conceal. And this is from the Netflix documentary where they interviewed some of the staff. They would usually get a wife calling about a charge on a shared credit card, and they would explain it's a digital entertainment platform, it's a subscription service, and they would not mention Ashley Madison. And if the caller persisted or expressed distress, the customer service reps were supposed to issue a full refund and remove the charge from the account. They would say, well, it could have been an error, so I'll refund it and remove the charge from your account. I'm so sorry about that. And it said internal scripts encouraged reps to say the company handled billing for multiple clients. So they didn't know which website it was, but we'll just remove the charge. So sorry for any confusion. And the girl that was talking about this in the documentary said that the vast majority of customers where this would happen, she would get a call 10, 20, 30 minutes later that said, thank you so much, here's a different credit card. Isn't that fucking bananas? Isn't that bananas? I could not work there. I would have been telling on them. This tactic was part of a broader corporate strategy to preserve secrecy and minimize public fallout, especially in households where the account holder was trying to hide their activity. I have a feeling that's most households. So this is part of their international era. This is 2014. So again, I've kind of showed you a general history of the company, how they work, their business model from when they were founded in 2002, got this new CEO in 2007. Seems like things really geared up from there. This is from 2014. The title of this article is Cheating on Your Spouse in Israel Just Got Easier. Great. As if the ethics were not already something to discuss there. Let's bring cheating into it. The way Noel Biderman sees it is that having an affair can save a marriage. He says, none of us are anywhere engineered for monogamy while maintaining his full faithful husband act. Got it. Only a cheater could invent this. For you, I was worried cheating on my husband in Israel would be a joke. Like, if you ever happen to find yourself there, you should be focused on the genocide happening mere miles away, not cheating on your husband. There's many more things in that geographic area to worry about. And as always, please scan and share the QR code below. Thank you. So he said this in an interview in Tel Aviv because they were expanding the website into Israel. He said, cohabitation kills attraction. People don't want to get divorced. They want to have their cake and eat it too. He said, I would cheat before I leave. It's like, I would say it's a glass closet, but he's not gay. He's just admitting it now. He's just admitting it. Now, for the first time, Israel will have access to the website. Before the Hebrew version even launched, 35,000 people registered for the website, higher than the average in other countries. His wife just nodding in the background. How do you sit next to your spouse spouting all of this, just nodding along? The company hopes to have 1% of Israel's population registered and boost their $125 million revenue, so they're making tons of fucking money. He said, I just got here to Israel, and I promise you that you're not a monogamous society. He said the website and app are built for deception. To ensure discretion, they store a little black book of your lover's phone numbers. You can encourage online communication through just the app so that a spouse doesn't see any stray text. And this is the part that kills me. It has a panic button. So when you're in the app, you can hit this button that I guess is always on the screen, and it changes your screen to something like really normal and not suspicious at all. I know about this technology is important. A lot of domestic violence websites have this where they have a panic button and it'll take you to like the weather. or something like super non-suspicious. I don't know what their panic button redirects to. They also have a special mode for planning affairs while you're traveling. So you can be like, I'm going to this city, and I'm assuming you have to pay for all of this. And then he said, when men have affairs, they blame their genetics. When women have affairs, they blame their husbands. Broken clock's right twice a day. Biderman said his saddest discovery was that women in their late 30s believe their sexual appetite is abnormally high. So this is also considered, like, aside from Ashley Madison, this is true, that in like late 30s, 40s, and 50s, as men's sexual libido is going down, a lot of times, especially like in 40s and 50s, and for a lot of women post-menopause, their libido goes up really dramatically. So that can cause like rifts within marriages, I would imagine. He said, I'm a really nice guy. I'm not the devil I'm portrayed. I hate him so much. He said, why kill the messenger? And if it became clear that his website ended more marriages than it saved, he said, that would be tough. That would be really hard for me. And if he ever discovered that his wife cheated on him, I would be devastated. So that is like an interview with him when he was expanding into Israel. And so the company announced plans that they were going to launch in Singapore as well in 2014. But the Singapore's Media Development Authority stated that they would not allow Ashley Madison to operate because they said it promotes adultery and disregards family values. Singapore was not playing. Singapore was like, not around here. No, you will not be doing that here. Absolutely not. So, that's the vibe of the company. I wanted to spend the first half of this stream telling you, you know, what they're doing, what they're up to, how they're making money, their media, their PR, who they are. My girlfriend and I just high-fived a win for lesbians. Let's go, lesbians, let's go. So let's get to what you all came here for. My hair is wet and it's dripping and it's really overstimulating me. Let's get to the 2015 hacking. This is where all of it came to be true. This is a stock photo. This isn't the actual person that hacked them. One thing that's not going to come up tonight, but I really wish it would, is Nathan Fielder. I just feel like I need Nathan Fielder involved in this. I don't know how, and I don't know in what way, but I just need Nathan Fielder to be a part of this. I need him to be here. I just need to see what he has to say about this situation. Do you guys know who Nathan Fielder is? I haven't watched the rehearsal yet, but I'm going to watch it soon, and I'm very, very excited to do that. So anyway, the 2015 hacking. So I'm going to go through a timeline. I want to preface this by saying when I was researching, some websites had some dates, some had others. So I think my order is correct, but if something is a day or two off, I deeply apologize. So 13 years later, someone finally had it. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Okay, so D-Day. Well, not really. July 12th, 2015. Ashley Madison staff come in, typical work day, and all of their computers have a message from a hacker and Thunderstruck by AC/DC is playing. Absolutely insane. And they had two websites, Ashley Madison and Established Men. This is what is on every single person that works there's computer. Again, while Thunderstruck by AC/DC is playing. I really wanted to play it, but I have previously gotten in trouble for playing copyrighted music, so we're just not going to do that. We are the Impact team. We have taken over all systems in your entire office and production domains, all customer information databases, source code repositories, financial records, emails. Shutting down AM and EM, Ashley Madison, and what was it, Exclusive Men? Is that what it was? Establishment. Will cost you, but non-compliance will cost you more. We will release all customer records, profiles with all the customer's secret sexual fantasies, nude pictures, conversations, and matching credit card transactions, real names and addresses, and employee documents and emails. Avid Life Media will be liable for fraud and extreme harm to millions of users. Ah! Can you imagine? It's so theatrical. I knew you guys were going to love this stream. It's so theatrical. I hope this was done by a scorned woman hacker. Me too. And it is spooky and thunderstruck. Like, can you imagine the CEO? Like, I would give anything to be a low-level employee at this establishment. And the Netflix documentary I watched, it's like 3 hours. It's a mini-series. It interviewed a lot of them, and them talking about it, like, they weren't laughing, but it was really funny to me because, like, to see your boss stressing like this after you've been working at this fucking evil company, because I can't imagine they treat their employees well. Clearly, they don't have any ethical anything. They did kind of deserve this torment, though. Like, God damn. So it's still July 12th. We're still on July 12th, 2015. All of this is in 2015 for the next probably 30, 40 minutes. So ALM, Avid Life Media, again, owns Ashley Madison. That's their main thing. Their IT team instructed all staff, shut down your computer, do not use any computer in the office, and they said this was done to preserve forensic evidence, contain any ongoing breach, and prevent further unauthorized access. And the internal communication said, do not touch your computers, do not log in, send emails, or run any system task to ensure the forensic integrity of the logs and all of that. So July 12th through July 15th, they hire the cybersecurity specialist from Sweden. And this is the thing. To be the person that you call when you get hacked, that person is a hacker, because you have to know how to hack to be able to figure out what the fuck happened here. So apparently this guy on the right, Joel Eriksson, is like one of the best known hackers in the world, but I guess now he's straight edge. I don't know how he got this reputation. So they call these two Swedish guys, Andre Cardi and Joel Eriksson, and they're like, get your ass to Canada. We need your fucking help. I cannot imagine how much this costs. Not that they don't have the money. They're making millions and millions of dollars every single year. But they began a forensic investigation and attempt to trace the source of the breach. So I think it's important to note, they did not call police. They did not report it to the Canadian authorities. They called two Swedish hackers and flew them to Canada. I'm not saying hiring the Swedish hackers was a bad idea. I'm just saying I probably also would have called the authorities. Maybe not 911, but like, I'm sure there's a Canadian office that deals with these things. So, like I said, those guys come over around like July 12th-ish. And then July 13th through 17th, they're doing the investigation, whatever. You can see there's some overlap here. Joel discovers login activity matching how internal employees access the systems. But he basically sees like this weird thing happened and they got in by using an employee login. What employee login were they using? And they see that it was credentials connected to an old contractor account. Because I used to work in tech, let me explain this to you. When you have a contractor, that is a company that you hire to like help you with your shit. So let's say I'm an employee of Ashley Madison. I have a login just for me, like Miss Redacted's login to log into my job. A contracting company has many other employees. You're not going to make a login for every single one of those people because that's really expensive. Whenever you make a login for an employee, it's called provisioning and it costs money. So what they will do is make a generic login and that company gets to use it. So like we worked with a printing company when I worked at a real estate brokerage because they would print signs. We made a login for the printing company to log into our stuff to make sure that it was connected to them and everything was sending correctly. But every time I talked to the printing company, I would talk to a different person. So it's not like I could provision a new login for every person. So it would be like printing company at whatever, and they would all use that same one. So basically that's what they're saying, is that this contractor that does not work with y'all logged in and was doing some weird shit. So they were saying, okay, it's an internal link because like they did it through an employee login. So like that's good to know. Like all I'm trying to communicate here is that the Swedish people seem like they know what the fuck they're doing. And they track the suspicious login to suspect A, an ex-contractor. They arrange an in-person meeting to confront him, but he denies all involvement, looks super uncomfortable, whatever. The Swedish specialist also said that they felt like all of the C-suite leaders, all of the people in charge of this company were all suspects, because they said the amount of information that these people had and the amount that they were able to access, they had to be very like intimately involved with the company, not to use that word, but like they had to have known so much. They just felt like it was not a random outside person. A random outside person wouldn't have been able to get this in this way. So they were like, maybe it's suspect A, maybe an internal person used suspect's A old login, because again, it's a contractor, so it's like not as easy to keep track of these things. So July 15th through 19th, according to internal sources, the Ashley Madison management starts saying, delete everything, delete backups, delete logs, delete everything. And the Swedish team was like, stop fucking deleting stuff. We need to look through it. Like, if you want to solve this, we have to look at all of this stuff to see what's been changed, what's been opened. Like, I'm not a computer expert, so I don't know how any of this works, but that makes sense to me. If information has been hacked and manipulated and sent out, you need to see the traces of that to figure out what's going on. You can't just delete the whole thing. That feels really stupid if you're in the middle of an investigation. So there starts to be a rift between the management of Ashley Madison and the Swedish cybersecurity people, which I find very interesting. Because if you're going to pay someone all this money, if I was, God forbid, CEO of a company like this and this happened, I would have hired those Swedes and been like, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, tell me what to do. Tell me what you need. Y'all are the experts. Y'all know what you're doing. Clearly our shit's fucked up because of this. Like, clearly we don't have everything on lock right now. So it's just crazy to me that you hire these people and then you fight with them over what they're over them doing what you hired them to do. So keep in mind, July 12th is when that message came on the screens at Ashley Madison. July 19th, the Impact team officially announces the breach publicly. They post a message online saying, hey, we hacked into their shit. We have it. Because again, the original message said, take down your website or we're going to release all of this. It's been 7 days. They have not taken down the website. The website is continuing to make millions and millions and millions of dollars. So the Impact team escalates and they say, we're going to announce publicly, hey guys, they had a breach. We have all their data. Hee hee. And it was on the news.
Don't wait up.
If you've ever used this website to hook up, you might have some explaining to do.
Office romance too risky. You should have used AshleyMadison.com.
The website, AshleyMadison.com, helps arrange sex partners so married people can cheat. And now those cheaters have been exposed. A hacking group calling itself the Impact Team says it stole personal information, including names of 37 million Ashley Madison subscribers. And for about an hour and a half, several thousand people were viewable online.
I'm not going to be home for dinner, sorry.
Ashley Madison's slogan is, life is short, have an affair. So just imagine what kind of personal information its clients may have shared. Sexual preferences, fantasies, fetishes, all from people looking for sex who never dreamed such juicy data could get into the hands of hackers.
This is a very good example of what type of naiveness in the market there is around personal data, especially setting yourself up for blackmail, for public humiliation, for a PR nightmare.
Avid Life Media, which owns Ashley Madison.
Okay, we're going to get into more of this later. Maybe we'll watch that later.
The massive data breach on notorious cheating website Ashley Madison could have a big impact on the future of online data. The hack reveals major security flaws that are often transferred from one website to the next. So Jeff, first bring us...
Okay, let's get into all of this. So imagine you're sitting at home and you see on the television, Ashley Madison has been hacked and the Impact team is threatening to release all of this consumer data. That's not good. That's not good at all. So, on July 20th, Ashley Madison website puts up statements. They put up 3. I'm only going to read you part of one. So again, July 12th, Ashley Madison is hacked. July 19th, the Impact team publicly says, we hacked Ashley Madison. July 20th, this is what Ashley Madison says. At this time, we have been able to secure our sites, close the unauthorized access points, and we are working with law enforcement agencies which are investigating this criminal act. Any and all parties responsible for this act of cyber terrorism will be held responsible. Using the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA, our team has now successfully removed the post related to the incident, as well as all personally identifiable information about our users that were published online. So the Impact team posted a little bit of stuff, and I guess it got taken down. Law enforcement only jumped on this on the 19th because the Impact team publicized it. Again, the Ashley Madison people did not call law enforcement on July 12th from everything that I have seen. So they also offered to waive their deletion charge. If you recall, it cost $19 to have a full delete. So they said, we're going to waive that. We'll give you a full delete for free for everybody because of this incident. Then, July 21st, the Impact team releases 2,500 user records to validate their claim. Here we go. Here we go. They warned y'all twice. And now we're here. Now we are here. So initially, Ashley Madison customer server reps denied that the main database was insecure and had been hacked. But then later, when this started coming out, he said, we're not denying it, but this was a criminal act. He really kept harping on criminal act. This is a criminal act. These people committed a crime by doing this to us. So, it's late July, it's early August. The Swedish specialists are still trying to preserve everything. Management's still trying to delete it. It seems like for a couple weeks here, instead of like making a plan, trying to solve the problem, working together, everyone was just kind of dicking around and fighting with each other. Was it a criminal act though? It is a criminal act to like hack sensitive data, I believe so. Because I think hacking into something is kind of legally considered the same thing as like coming into someone's house, like trespassing, I guess. Is it though? I don't know. It's also Canada, so maybe it's different there. So anyway, Toronto police formally engaged after the public disclosure, but the Swedish teams continued to operate independently. Ashley Madison did not say, hey, Toronto PD, we hired these Swedish guys. Please look at everything they have, work together. They're not working together. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the Canadian authorities are not working with the Swedes, which the Canadian authorities were like, we don't even fucking know these guys, so why would we work with them anyway? But it just seems like people are not trying to solve a problem. People are not locked in. What is that? Sorry, there's something on the wall. People are not locked in. They're not trying to solve a problem. It's just kind of a shit show for these couple of weeks. So same BS. We're not really getting anywhere. The Swedish analysts compile a detailed timeline. They follow up with that guy who had ended up, he denied it. They share their findings internally. They say you need to get more law enforcement involved. And there was still continued tension. Avid Life Media's leadership, the CEO, really wanted to delete things, and the Swedish team said there's no such thing as an unnecessary file. We need to see everything to get a full picture of what's going on here. So now it's been over a month since the original hacking. NYU was recently hacked, but I don't know what they did about that. I mean, the Impact team was just providing the free market platform for people to find their cheating spouses in the act. It doesn't mean they were encouraging it. That's funny. That's very funny. That might be chat of the night. I can't say for certain yet, but it's definitely a contender. So, then August 18th, 60 gigabytes of additional data is released by the Impact team and confirmed to be valid. They're not playing. Like, I don't know when Ashley Madison is going to realize that these people are not fucking playing. They have told them, if you do not take your website down, we're going to release information. Then they publicly said, hey, we hacked them and we have this information. Here's a little bit. Then a week later, they said, here's a lot of bit more. And then a month later, they said, here's 60 gigabytes, baby. You still want to have your little fucking website up? We will continue to terrorize you. Which is crazy. This really is like a drama. So like I said, I feel like they have so much time. Like, they have all the time in the world. Again, the source for these dates was a little bit questionable. But August 18th is when they have that major data dump. It has user emails, credentials, credit card transactions spanning 7 years. Next day is the CEO's emails, his personal emails, the source code. His full email archive is released because the first one, they had like a file corruption. So they said, nope, we actually do have the whole thing. Here it is. And then a third, even larger dump had 35 million user records in total. That is pretty much all of their users because they have 37 million, plus credit card info and private messages. Why did they keep it up the whole time? Because they wanted to keep making money. They wanted to keep making money. They did not want to lose the money. That's what's crazy about this. So literally just day after day after day, they are just a fucking terrorizing the CEO of Ashley Madison, absolutely terrorizing him. That was a conspiracy theory that divorce attorneys were behind the hack. Imagine thinking the worst is over. They already released all these names, and then they release your personal emails, everyone's credit card info, and private messages from the website. Because I'm sure when the first release happened, they were like, all right, it's over. That was scary, 2,500 people, but we'll get through it. I'll tell you where people can find the info. Could you imagine the fucking vibe in the office at this time? And that's why the documentary was funny with the employees, because they were talking about how, like, the team was using the conference room and people would just, like, pace in there and look so stressed, and they were just like, because they're the people that, like, answer the phones for, like, tech support and stuff. So they're like, this is not really going to affect their personal lives, other than the fact that they probably are going to have to find a new job. But literally fucking bananas. After the initial release of the CEO, Noel Biderman's leaked emails, this, I could not find anything online, but they said this in the Netflix documentary, that the Impact team sent him an email that said, "Noel, it's real now." Ah! It's real now is crazy. It's real now. That is literally like the most threatening thing they could possibly say. So the emails released showed that he was having affairs over multiple years. The exact lines of every email were not publicly transcribed in all the sources, so these are just a few random out of context ones from the Netflix thing that I watched. But the emails referenced meeting up with escorts. It had escort agencies that he was emailing, where he specifically said, I want 18 and 19-year-olds. He asked for specific physical traits, request for secrecy. He sent an email that said, send me 2 girls, I'll choose which one. And it was very logistic, like time, place, this is what I'm doing. So the Impact team revealed not just all the company bullshit, but basically he had a transactional approach to arranging sexual encounters with mistresses that he had ongoing emotional relationships with escort services. Like, he was literally doing it all. He was literally doing everything and more. Isn't this like, imagine his face. No, it's real now. Oh, it's so fucking scary. So he resigned. Yeah, he resigned pretty shortly after this. He said it was in the best interest of the company for him to resign. Of course, he did exactly what the website he designed. So I'm going to jump ahead because we're about to abandon him and stop talking to him. His leaked emails, like we said that he had personal affairs, and reports and his attorney affirm that he remained married to his wife, Amanda, and was focused on their family life. And by 2024, he is now a tech CEO again of Avenue Insights, which is an analytic firm. And he also served as a strategic advisor at LenderFi. So looks like he came out all right. Yeah, free Amanda, you guys. Free Amanda. Let's get the GoFundMe going for Amanda. A pip. Not even a pip. So yeah, he resigned. He went on to live a decent life, I guess. I wonder if he kept cheating. Probably. Abandoned him and stopped talking to him like his wife should have. So, moving on to the fallout for the company. Because what the fuck? The CEO getting 18-year-old escorts is diabolical. So following the hack, communities of internet vigilantes began combing through the data, because basically what the impact team released, like a couple people said, how did people access this? Like, where was it posted? How did this work? The impact team released these gigabyte files that I think were just like text files, I guess, or like code. So a bunch of people on the internet, like people that know how to analyze data, know how to code, started taking it and putting it into more usable formats. Because keep in mind, this is all over the news. So all of it's going viral. It's 2015. Social media is alive and well. So people are making websites. People are making little databases where you can search. Like, it's being, the community's kind of processing it and putting it out. So vigilantes also began combing through to find famous individuals so they could publicly humiliate them. France 24 reported that 1,200 Saudi Arabian email addresses ending SA, because I guess that's like their government one, were leaked in the database. There were several thousand .gov and .mil, which is military. They also found many public figures, celebrities, CEOs, and school principals. This is the thing that gets me. Ashley Madison didn't require you to verify your email. Why the fuck would you use your work email and your real name? Why would you do that? No one made you use your work email. No one made you, as the principal work email, the .gov work email. Like, y'all were begging to get caught. Begging. So following the breach, extortionists began targeting people and attempting to scam them out of Bitcoins. One company offered a search engine where you could type in email addresses of a colleague, a spouse, whoever, and then the company would send them threatening letters that their details were going to be exposed unless they paid money to the company. So, like, people are taking advantage of this on all fronts. People are using it to exploit the people on the list. They're making their own websites and putting ads on the websites. It's like, it's everywhere. Why are we doing 3 million phishing email scams when people are using their official work emails for this? They loved the thrill of getting away with it. Oh, maybe you're right. They're like, oh, fucking messaging bitches on my work email. So more on the data analysis. Anna Lee, who was editor-in-chief at Gizmodo, also analyzed the leak of data. She found that only 12,000 of the 5.5 million female accounts were used regularly. So of their female users, almost none of them were actually on the website on a day-to-day. And the vast majority of the female accounts were only used once, the day that they were registered. She also found that many of the women's accounts were all created from the same IP address, suggesting there were many fake accounts. Because she's saying, okay, you have thousands of accounts that were only used, or millions of accounts that were only used once the day they were opened, and they were all made at the same address. Very interesting. They found that women checked email messages very infrequently. Every one time a woman checked her email, 13,585 men checked theirs. Only 9,700 of the 5.5 female accounts had ever replied to a message, compared to 5.9 million men who would do the same. They concluded the women's accounts show little activity, they might as well not be there. So all of this for what? In a subsequent article, they acknowledged that they had misunderstood the evidence and that their conclusion that there were few females active on the site had been based on the data recording bot activities in contacting members. They confirmed that Ashley Madison created more than 70,000 female bots to send millions of messages to male users, but these were fake messages with random photos, fake photos. And they note we have absolutely no data recording human activity at all in the Ashley Madison dump from the impact team. All we can see is when fake humans contacted real ones. This is not all of the data. It's what this one news organization went through. They noted that the site seemed to keep track of human-to-human contact, but the impact team had not released this data. So the impact team, they basically released the data and told everyone, go fucking crazy with it. And so all these different analysts combing through the data have figured out, oh my God, it's bots. Oh my God, it's .gov. Oh my God, it's .military. Like, all these different groups are finding all this information because it's so much data. They also had a security analyst discover that basically it was insecure as fuck. Like, despite all those things on their website, security award, the best, whatever. Very, very, very unsecure. They found that 4,000 passwords were 12345 and password. That's pretty rough. And due to a design error, passwords were also hashed separately in an insecure algorithm, so 11 million passwords were cracked. I don't really know what these like hashing and MD5, I don't know what that is. What I do know, they were not protecting their data, despite on their website they said that they were. While acknowledging that some men had detected the ruse, staff writer of the Financial Post suggested that if only a few interactions were conducted, the test could be passed by women imitating chatbots that fooled men into buying special accounts. Because basically part of their business model is if someone messages you, you have to pay to reply. So they would have the bots message these men. So right when you get on there as a man, you get like 2 or 3 sexy women that are like, hey, what are you up to? Down for a sexy workplace or down for a sexy chat throughout the workday? And the men are like, I fucking love this website. So it's literally so fucking predatory to just get them to spend their money and be locked in, and it's not even a real person. Like, even if it was a real person, the cheating is still bad, but for it to be a robot, it's like, come on. So, inside the Ashley Madison data dump.
You've been sifting through a lot of the data that these hackers put out there on the dark web. What'd you find?
Well, what we first found is that there was what's called 10 gigabytes of compressed data, which is a lot of information. So we actually started going through the data, and it turns out to be around 35 gigs uncompressed, which is a significant amount of data, which included, internal company documentation, passwords for the corporate environments, like usernames and passwords for administrator accounts. But it also included around 38 million first names, last names, email addresses, street addresses, last 4 of the credit card of all of the users that had been members of Ashley Madison in the past, and that includes deleted accounts as well.
This type of data is so
deleted
sensitive.
accounts.
You're looking at a website that, however controversial it is, it enables people to commit adultery. A lot of people use fake emails, they use fake names. So looking at this data, would you, as someone who's a security expert who kind of looks at this kind of thing a lot, would you be able to identify specific people?
There's a lot of people that you can identify specifically. Like, for example, there's over 15,000 .mil and .gov addresses that were taken and found. Additionally, if you actually look at a large percentage of the names, they are legitimate names that can be tied back to individual
why would you
locations
put your real name
and certain
on there?
zip codes, area codes, and they actually have to produce that as part of putting in their verification for their credit card. So we found around 70% of them to be legitimate or valid, so they can tie to an individual person.
You've been sifting through
70% of users used their real information and it got leaked. 70%. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Not only are you a cheater, you are an idiot. Stupid. So, I kind of just like summarized all the boring computer stuff. These are the problems with their security. Weak password protections. We will get to the retention of deleted data. That shouldn't be on this slide. Lack of encryption. So encryption means like you have to have secret codes to see anything. Minimal internal oversight. Internal emails released by the hackers show that Ashley Madison's developers and IT staff had warned leadership in 2012, 3 years prior, about poor cybersecurity infrastructure, yet these concerns were largely ignored. They were spending all of their money on marketing rather than IT security. There was no formal incident response plan. If you have a big company, if you hear that, it's this. If you have a big company, you have incident response plans. When I worked at that real estate brokerage that was honestly run like kind of chaotically, we did have an incident response plan for a hacking. We had an incident response plan for like a natural disaster in the city our brokerage was in. Like, if you have a big company, you have incident response plans. They didn't have one for a hacking. My Ulta account has better security than this. No, literally. Low-key, maybe they were saving the marriages by having these wannabe cheaters only talk to bots. Maybe that was the saving they were doing the whole time. So this is the part that gets me. Retention of deleted data. The users who paid the $19 for the full delete option said the thing said, your information will be permanently erased. We saw this at the beginning. We mentioned this multiple times. $19 for that full delete. When the hack was first publicized, they said, we'll do a full delete for free. They retained the data, names, addresses, credit cards, everything. All those people who paid the $19 for the full delete, none of that shit was actually deleted. This is fucked up for two reasons. One, if you tell your customer, I'm deleting your data, you need to delete the data. That's what's ethically correct to do. Two, they paid you for a service. Even if you are a shitty person and you want to keep the data, you cannot tell people, pay me to delete it, and then just not delete it. That's literally fraud. That's literally fraud. This, please laugh.
That you haven't already filmed it, deleted it, and sent it.
Well, then look through my deleteds. Look through everything. Look through all my hidden photos. Look through all my deleteds.
It's hard to say, look at my deleted, because you can delete a deleted.
But you're going to see a lot of really embarrassing stuff that if I wanted to delete the deleted, I would have deleted those too. So that's what I'm saying. Go look through my phone. Go look through the deleteds. The deleteds. The stuff that's extra embarrassing.
The deleted. I hope that you guys know what that's from. It's from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but it was literally just so perfect for this.
That you haven't already filmed.
So, fallout continues. A variety of security researchers and privacy advocates debated, is it ethical to report on this? This is people's private information that was gotten illegally by hackers. Is it an ethical and okay thing to do to be reporting on this private data and putting this private data in a way that's consumable for the general public? I don't think I would be debating. I think I would just be reporting, personally, just because I kind of like gossip. But I think it is a valid conversation to have. And I'll talk about that more at the end. I kind of wrap up my thoughts around privacy and ethics around all of this. Journalism. I love a journalist. I would have become a journalist. I was actually thinking about going to journalism school. I just don't have the patience for it. To be a journalist, you have to be willing to get hung up on a million times, make all these phone calls, and people are just going to ignore you. So I really admire journalists. So journalist Joseph Cox was able to connect with someone that was affiliated with the Impact team via the dark web. He actually said he found stuff on Reddit that led him to the dark web and made him find this person. And he said, this is just what I found. He couldn't really verify it. But basically, someone on Reddit was speaking about this in great detail. So he got in touch with them, and they basically said, yeah, I'll pass a message over to the Impact team for you. They didn't say they were on at the team, but they said, I'll pass a message over for you. And in the Netflix documentary, he talked about this, could not find anything online about it again. And he said that they answered questions over email. So he never spoke with them. He just chatted with them. They basically had some back and forth where they were saying, why did you do this? And they were like, this is a horrible website, blah, blah, blah. And one thing that stood out to me, sorry, I keep burping, I was drinking. They said they're abusing addicts like a drug dealer, which I think is very comparable. They are exploiting people that have these sexual desires and have this, a lot of them probably a sex addiction and emotional issues that they're taking out in the wrong way, and they are exploiting them for money. And I think that that is wrong. And the hackers said that the site exploited vulnerable users by charging them for interactions with a lot of fake and inactive accounts. And they saw their actions as exposing a dishonest business, not committing a crime. So they said, I don't feel I'm a criminal. So that's kind of their stance on this. They've never obviously done an interview or anything. So public data search sites after the leak. Like we said, people made searchable websites. And people offered non-invasive verification. One of the most prominent was AshleyMadisonLeakedData.com, where you could enter an email and search. And many tech experts and ethics people condemned this as digital vigilantism and said it was public shaming. Again, Gmail is free. No one told you to put your real email on there. And I think that the data analysts are really carrying this. The data analysts are doing this work for free. A lot of them, not the ones that are using it to blackmail people, but a lot of them were making these websites for free and combing through all this data. And my fiance works in the computer land, so I see it as hard work. I know to us that they're just putting in numbers and typing, But it's very tricky and very hard, and they work hard, and they deserve our respect. And I think they did this as a service, personally, to expose this unethical business. So this is where, to me, it kind of gets like, I don't know about all that. Mid-August 2015, there was an Australian radio show where people would call in and they would live look up your spouse, whoever you said, and tell you on the air if they were found. Yikes. And so the documentary showed this lady, Jo, who gave her husband's email address, and they said, yep, he had an account. And then she like kind of freaks out and then hangs up, and the hosts are like, oh, I don't know if we should have done that. I feel bad. And like, I don't like this. I think this is like very, very exploitative and kind of makes me uncomfortable. The websites I'm okay with. The live reactions with the wife, I don't like that at all. This is so personal and so hurtful. I really don't like it. So, who got in trouble? These are some of the big names that were on the list, and then we'll go through some specific people. I'm not going to go through the people on this list. The first one, everyone already knows. I told you I wasn't really going to talk about him, but he was one of the big names on there. Hunter Biden was reported to have some personal data on there, but this claim remains disputed. Josh Takeman, I don't know who that is because I don't watch Real Housewives of New York, but I'm about to start it, so don't tell me anything. He admitted to having an account, called it a mistake, but said his marriage was not affected. Snooki's husband, his name appeared in the leak, but they denied and said it was a false association. Joe Smith, this felt very like sketchy and not a real person, but this is what the internet said, had his military address in there. And then Nate Brown was a Colorado state prosecutor, and he said it was just lurid curiosity, and he never replied to any messages. So big names. Let's get into some of the ones that I found to be particularly interesting. Would you really believe that the radio host saw the name? Not that they have a reason to lie. The radio hosts were using the website where you can look it up. So I don't think they were lying. Louis Frey. Free? I don't know. His name and email address was in the data. He denied creating or using an account. He claimed he was impersonated because, again, they don't have any verification. So I could go in and type in your email and make an account, and there's not any type of verification for that. No payment or usage data directly tied him, but who is he again? I forgot to like put who this man is. He was important. He looks creepy though. Oh, he is an attorney and was I think an FBI person. He was the director of the FBI from 1993 to 2001. That's why he's important. That's why he's on this list. So, for some people, it was just their name and email. For some of them, it was their name, email, and their credit card information. And if it was your credit card information, you really can't deny that it was you. But the people that had just had their name and email, I guess is a little bit easier to deny it. But I honestly don't really believe any of these denials. Jeff Ashton, he was a Florida state attorney and member of the prosecution team in the Casey Anthony trial. He appeared on the leak. He confirmed that he did use the site and created an account. He said he was curious, but all he did was browse. He publicly apologized, but he did not resign from his position. When I Googled him, I found this from just like last year. He was accused of misconduct in the courtroom. Apparently he shouted at people in front of the jury, and he could face disciplinary action from the Florida Supreme Court. So crazy ass update on Jeff. That's wild. Jason Dorr, he was the executive director of the Louisiana Republican Party at the time of the leak. He admitted that his name appeared, and he confirmed that he had an account. He claimed, this is the one that gets me. This is my favorite one. He was using it for opposition research. He said it wasn't personal, and I never engaged in inappropriate behavior. I was using it for researching the opposition. Okay. That's believable. Got it. And can I just say, I don't like to go low and insult people's looks, but all of these motherfuckers look exactly how I expected them to. I don't know how to pronounce this, probably going to butcher it. Hideo Ito. I don't know if this picture is correct. This is the only picture I could find, and this guy did say that he was a Japanese businessman, but I don't know if it's the exact same guy. So if it's the wrong guy, I'm sorry to this man. Japanese politician and member of the House of Representatives, he faced a lot of media scrutiny in Japan. He did not confirm or deny, but the political pressure intensified following the leak. And then we're going to get into I don't want to say my favorite because it's so sad, but what I think the most notable person in here is the Christian family vloggers. The Christian family vloggers have been hit, you all. They are here. Sam Rader. If you recall this super viral video of these parents with their kids in the back singing "Love is an Open Door." This is Sam and Nia. They are Christian YouTubers. Their whole YouTube, they are vloggers. They show their Christian family and their Christian life. And he created an Ashley Madison account in 2013. He said he made it out of curiosity. He said he never met up with anyone. He never had an affair with anyone from Ashley Madison. And he issued a public apology video with his wife where they said, "We're moving forward. I've been forgiven." And they are also known, I put the "Love is an Open Door." They are also very famous for a surprise video where he told his wife she was pregnant because I guess she forgot to flush the toilet and he put a pregnancy test in it and it was positive. So it's like went super viral that the dad surprised the mom because obviously that's not normally how it goes. I think that's really weird and manipulative and odd personally. But yeah, so they are very famous in the YouTube sphere. You can see very, very, very famous couple. This is his public apology after his name was leaked because obviously everyone was talking about him on Twitter. This is a clip. The video has been taken down off of their channel. I tried to find it.
I did make the account. I made the account 2 years ago. This is an issue that is...
the pregnancy test was fake?
To my wife's attention. She has forgiven me for this mistake that I made in opening the account. I've sought forgiveness to God and he's forgiven me. So I've been completely cleansed of this sin.
I've sought forgiveness to God and he's forgiven me. Don't worry, he told me. So I'm completely cleansed of this sin. Her staring at him is killing me.
And also, I need to be clear that I've never met with a single person face to face through that website. I did make the account. I made the account 2 years ago. This is an issue that is, this was brought to my wife's attention. She has forgiven me for this mistake that I made in opening the account. I've sought forgiveness to God and he's forgiven me. So I've been completely cleansed of this sin. And also, I need to be clear that I've never met with a single person face to face.
So yeah, you get it. It played the same thing twice, but he makes this public apology. But the plot thickens. It does not end there. Behind the scenes, this was the beginning of a much deeper unraveling. Shortly after the public leak, this part I'm still a little bit unclear about. Apparently they have a family group chat, like an extended family group chat. And Sam's brother sent a message in the family group chat that says, "You need to tell Nia everything, all of it." And so Nia sees the message and is like, what the fuck are they talking about? And Sam at first was like, my brother's just trying to start trouble, blah, 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 tried to like brush it off. And Nia was like, no, I really feel like something's wrong. Like, you really need to tell me what's wrong. Because again, this I think was a few days after that video. So after all this public unraveling, because they're in the Netflix documentary, and she says like, I just felt like, you know, it was this horrible thing, but our marriage was going to heal past it. And he had never actually met up with anyone. And I felt like I was an amazing wife for forgiving him. And she said she felt like the community was starting to like accept his apology and be like, you know, we all make mistakes, whatever. And then a couple days later, this happens. And then he starts revealing the full extent of what's going on. In the family group chat is crazy. I know. So this is what he confesses to her. She said that he spent hours telling her about years of infidelity, years of lying, They've been married for like 10 years at this point. She said that for hours he's going through details of what happened. He says regular visits to massage parlors, happy ending type shit, and strip clubs. He said 2 very deep emotional affairs where he cheated with women who were like not his wife's friends, but he said family friends, like acquaintances, people they knew. One, he did approach 2 of her friends, 2 of her very close friends. One woman rejected him and then ghosted Nia. And Nia said that this was one of the most painful events of her life, was one of her best friends cutting off communication with her and not telling her why. And the whole time her husband was like, I'm so sorry, was consoling her. And he knew, this girl's not talking to you because I made an advance at her. And so she basically just ghosted you and cut you off. And the other one just rejected him and pretended it never happened. And apparently all of this had gone unspoken until that moment. And Nia said all of this was worse than the Ashley Madison thing. She was like, the Ashley Madison thing is basically nothing compared to all of this. Had cheated on her on numerous occasions, had affairs with people they knew, tried to go after her friends, like complete what it seems like to me, sex and love addict, like through and through. They separated for a while. He wasn't living in the house, but they went to religious therapy and worked it out. And she fucking forgave him. Let's go get her. Let's go get her. His brother knew the whole time and waited to say something. Because after everyone forgave him for the website, I feel like the brother was like, wait a damn minute. Y'all don't even know. Okay? Y'all do not even know. God, it really is just so horrendous. This is them promoting the Netflix doc, because I assume, but I haven't watched this. This is from 2024, so this is recent. And yes, they are still together.
And Sam and Nia are joining us now live from Texas. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Thank you. I think it's about 5 o'clock in the morning out there, so thank you for joining us so early. You two, you've been together since your early 20s. You are very popular on YouTube. You've got over 2.5 million subscribers. You know, people love you two. You are like the
whole time he kept having kids with her.
Until
they have a lot of
Sam,
kids, like 3 or 4, I think.
On this website for people that want affairs. How long were you on the website for, Sam? And did you come clean because you knew it was going to come out, or would you think you would have always come clean?
I was on the site for maybe a month, but no, I did not have any plans to come clean. In fact, there was a lot more to the story. If the breach didn't happen, no, this would not be out.
Okay.
You probably should have kept cheating.
Otherwise, it would be another way.
So that's good.
May this
so
love never find me.
Do you think in many ways, therefore, this saved your relationship? Because if you hadn't have come out, then presumably something would have happened that would have, finished your marriage and you'd be over.
This is so awkward. This is a humiliation ritual for her.
Yeah, definitely gave us a version of our marriage I never thought was possible. That's like so much better than what was.
It's not anti-woman. This is very embarrassing.
So all this scandal has made you two a lot stronger.
Yes, because a lot more than just the Ashley Madison scandal came out. In fact, that was the least of it. And this was how I see it as the Lord taking the small thing that I had done, exposing it to everybody because I wasn't going to expose it to the most important person, which was my wife. And then that was the beginning of me confessing a lot of other things I had done behind her back. And it set me free from all these secrets that I've been holding for so long. And I was able to expose it all to Nia, trust the Lord would have our backs afterwards. And he walked us through it all together. And here we are today. Much better marriage than we ever had.
Neil, when you
I think
first
he's still
heard,
cheating.
what was your initial reaction, and then how did you begin to kind of put those pieces together in terms of how you're going to deal with it?
Imagine being their child, right?
I mean, well, when I first heard of the Ashley Madison hack, I was really shocked, super angry and just embarrassed, just a number of things. But, he was pretty adamant that was the only thing he had hidden from me. And so I was really quickly ready to forgive him and just have his back and move forward together. But then once other things came out and he confessed other things to me, that took a lot more work. That was an ongoing process.
He was out of
just
the
trying
house
to
for
decide
months. She
what
was
do I
very
even
close.
want, what is expected of me, as someone who believes in Jesus. What does that even
Jesus
mean for
would
me
not
as a human?
condone this.
Not even including Sam.
See,
And
this is the thing, is that when they wrote the commandments or whatever, they didn't have the internet, so they couldn't put, like, unless your husband's on Ashley Madison cheating, then fucking leave him. You know what I mean?
just really had to kind of go on a search for what it was I needed to do and wanted to do.
And this is my stance with cheating.
When you say,
a lot of people are like, oh, so you would throw away a happy marriage because someone made one mistake. You would leave someone for that. For me, it's not the matter of, oh, he made a mistake. Someone made a mistake. For me, that marriage, that relationship is never going to be happy again, because until the day I die, I'm going to be suspicious of you and be Nancy Drewing the fuck out of everything you're doing. So, like, for me, I'd have to be like, bye, just because, like, I'm not going to let myself live in, like, a jealous, insecure, torture-filled existence for the rest of my life. Not even just like, I'm willing to throw this away because of a mistake. Like, cheating is wrong. I also agree that people that are good people can make mistakes. I still couldn't. Like, I just couldn't. I couldn't. I literally couldn't.
A lot. And was it multiple affairs then that Sam was having?
Yes, multiple emotional affairs.
I stayed with
and
my cheating
a few
husband.
different physical things,
And how did I'm sorry, because it seems so intrusive, but I mean, you're on this show, and how did your friends and family react? Because it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. My oldest brother was keeping our family text updated on all the things Ashley Madison, on the impact team, the hackers, and what they were threatening. And he was like basically counting down the days and saying, will the impact team actually follow through on their threats and expose all these people, all these cheaters? And I'm just reading these texts from my brother in the group. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be one of these people. My brother's going to be shocked. And he was. I had to call him and told him that I was in that dump, and he was absolutely shocked. It actually took me
The brother is very fear.
for me to
The
convince
brother's
him
like,
that what I was
what?
saying
You were in it? Whoa.
Well, listen,
Yeah, for me, it was like,
Sorry, Nia, go
sorry.
ahead. Sorry, Nia, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just, it's totally different because my family and friends found out obviously like kind of with the public, because it was just,
The brother is
dump
doing
happened and
Jesus's
then
work.
Everybody knew about it. And so it was pretty shocking for everyone.
Well, listen, mistakes were made, but obviously you guys have patched up and you got it together in a better place now. Sam, what are the first initial steps? How did you go about winning trust and proving to Nia that, you could be trusted and you are the right person for her to spend the rest of her life with?
It first started with the confessions and exposing to her all the struggles that I had all my life that I'd actually wanted to express to her from the very beginning of our marriage. But I never felt I was able to do it. So it started with the confessions, and it started with knowing that I had no right to try to leave this marriage, to give up on, the division I caused between us.
I want chicken tenders.
And all I knew to do was just make myself completely available to her, continually express my love to her, and continue to just open my heart to her in communication day after day after day, answering any questions she might have, and setting very strong boundaries to make her...
I don't think that I'm wrong for saying this, but I think people might disagree. I think that in this dynamic, they should get divorced. Zaxby's. They should get divorced. She should get to keep living in the house. He should keep having to pay bills and child support and things like that. And then he should also have to do anything she needs for the rest of her life while she actively dates other men. So, like, if something breaks, he has to come fix it. If she has some kind of problem and needs help, he should have to do that. Like, I agree with him that he doesn't have the right to just give up his responsibilities as a husband. I do think that she has the right to withhold any type of relationship between the two of them, but I still think he should have to be a father and a husband for his family and still, like, take care of his family and just, like, be celibate till he dies. Like, I think, like, she should get the house and he should live in like a trailer in the backyard or something, and just whenever she needs something, she can be like, go fucking do this for me, and he just has to do it, and that's just the rest of his life. Like, he can't have a girlfriend, he can't have fun. That's just what he does now. And then, like, she can be kicking it with, like, a cool, new, fun guy that's loyal to her. And he's just in the trailer in the backyard to be of service, is what I think would be the most ethical thing here. Because he is still the father of her children, so you do kind of have to talk to him.
Or feel safe during that period of time. It was a long, difficult ride. It wasn't done perfectly, and I also had brothers in Christ all around me helping
brothers
me
in
do
Christ,
this because I definitely could have done this out on my own.
Sam, if Ashley Madison had not have been revealed, where do you think you two would be now?
You should become a divorce lawyer.
I believe in the providence of the
I
Lord.
can think of worse
we'd
jobs.
still be sitting in the same spot. Maybe not on the news, but I think we'd still be walking in freedom together from those secrets.
Cheating on your pregnant wife with her friend is
demonic. I had a very close
demonic.
relationship with the Lord, but I was on my YouTube channel confessing I was a Christian, and of course I was, but I was also holding the secrets in, and God is very clear, he will not be mocked. And I'm over here, showing what a Christian life looks
God.
like, yet I'm hiding my deepest struggles. And that ate away at me for the past several years, which is one of the reasons I got on the documentary. But I think we'd still be sitting here in freedom.
Well, Sam, you have learned the hard way, and you've written a book.
You've learned the
Public
hard
Scandals, way. Secret Vows, and Restored Heart. So,
should I read it?
Do you hope that your story can actually save other marriages?
Yes, the book is actually called Sam and Nia Live in Truth. But you want to?
Yeah, I definitely think that if someone is sitting right now where I was sitting 9 years ago, I wish that I had found a story like ours back then. Like, it would have given me so much hope. And if even just one
I don't give a fuck about your God. You disrespected your wife and children. So they're doing great, I guess. They renewed their vows last year, renewing our wedding vows after infidelity. We painted our brick house. Josie's 4th birthday broke my heart. Our dream home, I got April fooled. My baby is waiting tables. Nia left me, which I think is clickbait. He's probably just home alone for the weekend. So yeah, they're doing awesome. I wanted to go through a couple individual people who were exposed by this. That's obviously not everyone, but those are the ones that I found to be noteworthy. So over 37 million user accounts were exposed across 46 countries. 90 to 95% of users were estimated to be male. 11 million accounts were from the United States. Like we said, sexual preferences, messages, names, emails, credit cards. Unfortunately, there were 2 suicides that were officially linked to the breach, which is incredibly, incredibly sad. There was actually, they talked about 2 in Canada, and I believe there was 1 in New Orleans that are officially linked. We do not know. I'm sure there's many unofficial links. There were multiple extortion attempts, lots of government workers, military, religious people. Lots of employers had to investigate their staff for misuse of official devices and resources and things like that. So overall, just a massive, massive shit show. By August 23rd, don't save her, she don't want to be saved. By August 23rd, 2 Canadian law firms filed a $578 million class action lawsuit against Ashley Madison, specifically citing the deceptive delete practices. Some other happenings because of this. The FTC launched a formal investigation, especially because of the delete and the fake profiles. Because the hack, it's hard to find a hacker and prosecute them. But the fraud can be prosecuted that was exposed in the hack. Ruby Corporation, which is the rebranded Avid Life Media, reached a settlement in the United States for $11.2 million, and the FTC bars misrepresentations and requires ongoing security improvements, and now they are required to have third-party audits of their security. They revised their practice. Now they do have 2-factor authentication, PCI, whatever that is, compliance, strengthened encryption, and an end to the fembots, the fake female accounts. So, regarding the hackers and the Impact team, to date, no arrests have been made, no public identifications. The company offered a $500,000 Canadian dollar reward, but nothing came of that. The police actually had like a press conference and no one was calling the tip line. No one had any information. So the investigators that I saw the video of him, he said that he does not believe it was a team. He believes it was one individual, because he said this was very clearly for moral reasons. This was very clearly because of a personal conviction. This person very clearly intimately knew this company. He believes there was some kind of personal connection. Maybe it was a former employee or a disgruntled family member or something like that. But he thinks it was one person because no one came forward with the reward. He said usually when you have a team of criminals, one person will get nervous or scared and take like a plea deal or come forward or take a bribe to sell out the other people or whatever. But no one ever came forward with anything because it was the one. The official investigations have not disclosed any suspects. They never got anyone in custody for questioning or anything in that. Like, they just don't know. Y'all that think it was the wife, I don't know. I just don't see it for some reason. The website still remains online. They still exist. Their parent company was rebranded, but they still are called Ashley Madison. They have 60 million users, so even more now than they did back then. That was as of 2019, but according to sources from last year, they now have 80 million. And after the Netflix docuseries, Ireland showed a sharp increase in activity and more men than women signed up in Ireland. So they are very much still alive and well and around. This is some of their more recent ads. Their marketing is still funny to me.
Happy wife, happy life.
That one's kind of hilarious. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with that, genuinely. Why is my screen not working? Oh, do all of these have to be seen on YouTube? That's why. Okay, that's the same thing. There we go. Now it's working. This is another good one.
Why am I out of bed before everyone else? Why do I run faster than I did yesterday? Why do I drown out the voice of pain? Why do I never quit?
I just don't want to get caught. Hey, you there!
I hate to say it, but the O in Madison being the wedding ring falling is genius. No, it really, really is. I wonder if COVID had anything to do with the post-2019 spike in membership. Maybe. So, the best note I could end this on, like I said, I would talk about this at the end, is that we're all human. We all make mistakes. I do not think people have to be defined by their mistakes. I think that people deserve privacy. I think especially sexually, people are entitled to privacy. But I also do think that, like, even if it's a mistake, it's still, you deserve to be held accountable for that mistake. And I think that being held accountable sucks, but ultimately, I think it's a sign of respect. Because if your husband cheats on you and you don't address it, not only does that show a lack of respect for yourself, it also shows a lack of respect to him to just think that that's the best he can do and you should just let him to get away with that. So even though it sucks to be held accountable, I think it is a necessary part of life. And I think that exposing all these people's personal sexual information is inherently wrong. I think that if it was a website that was not about cheating, all of it would be wrong. But it does like make me sad that people did take their lives over this. Families were destroyed over this. But ultimately, if you don't want to be held accountable for what you're doing, option number 1, don't do it. Option number 2, don't do it online or on paper. Like, I really have kind of a hard time feeling bad for the people that were affected by this. Obviously, I feel bad for like the spouses and the children and the people that got their hearts broken, but the people that were exposed, even though it was a violation of privacy, they were frauded, they were vulnerable, and a company did exploit them, ultimately they did make a decision to go on there and sign up and do what they did. So it's very sad. The whole thing around is sad, and it literally feels like a movie. It's fucking crazy. But next week, on kind of a lighter note, we'll be talking about youth culture of the 1960s. Y'all said you want kind of the history stuff. So I have the slides that I used with my IRL class, and then I added in, or I'm working on adding in, a bunch of other interesting stuff that's a little more spicy, a little more controversial, a little more opinionated, but I think that that one will be a good one. I wonder if any married couples have found each other on the website. The documentary I watched did show a married couple where they're both on it and they're both cool with it, and that's the marriage that they have. And I think that that is completely fine morally, and I do feel that people who were on there in open marriages, I do think that that's really wrong, that their information got out, because they weren't being deceptive to anyone in their life, and I think that it's really unfair to post someone's sexual messages, sexual preferences, and personal things. It's always wrong, but it's especially wrong when the person wasn't being dishonest or anything. Like, they have the right to that privacy. And I'm sure that was not the majority of people on there, but I'm sure there were some people in that situation who had their personal information where their neighbors and their colleagues and their boss can see it. And that's embarrassing. You wouldn't want your personal text messages and photos and sexual preferences to be put out into the world. So I think that that's wrong. And to the cheaters, it's still wrong, but I just have a lot less empathy for you. So let's go ahead and play our little frickin' game. Which one do we want to do? We'll do space. I feel like I had more stuff in there. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say, the guy is still married to his wife, the CEO. Everyone was saying that they thought it was the CEO's wife. I don't think it was the CEO's wife, because what was the point of that if you're still going to be married to him? You know what I'm saying? All right, so anyway, back to the game. I don't want your email. I don't want your data. I don't want your sexual preferences. This is just a fun little trivia game. I put the link to join. You don't have to put your real name. You don't have to make an account. You don't have to download an app. And it is just trivia about what we discussed here tonight. So I'll give people a couple minutes to join and do their damn thing. Pick a fun name if you want. It lets you pick a little character. You can join on your phone. You can join on another tab. You can do whatevs. No need to confirm emails either. Exactly. Imagine if Nearpod had a leak. Could you imagine? Sorry, I posted a video the other day about like me being incompetent in corporate America, and then someone that like knows me in real life messaged me about it. Oh yay, my friend can hang out. That's exciting. I can't believe she didn't leave him. Yeah. At least as far as I know. She didn't leave him when he resigned or in the years after. If she's left him since then, maybe, but let's just put that in for 1 p.m. There we go. Woohoo. Party, party. This was a good stream. I really liked this topic, even though it was like really negative and bad. I felt like it was the perfect length, the perfect amount of ethics versus unethical. Yes, you can see the Barbies while you join. All right, this one just came today. I believe this is 1991. President Barbie. Isn't it cute? It's hard to see because of the light. And it says, party button for you. Party for you. It's crazy that this doll is older than me. Right? I was saying that my fiance was making dinner when I was unboxing this, and I go, isn't it crazy that this doll is older than me but younger than you? And he was like, okay. He just goes, yeah, it's a collector's item. And then this is Teacher Barbie. I can't remember if she was here last week. This is 1995. She has 2 little students. Isn't she so cute? I love them. And look at all the little teacher accessories. So fun. It's a little book bag, a pencil sharpener, chalk, an eraser. Apparently she doesn't have any panties on, and it caused a lot of controversy. That's what they're saying. Yeah. How old are you? I am 27. 27. Party for you before Charlie is crazy. I know, isn't it? All right, let's go ahead and start this frickin' game. Let's do this. If you have not joined and you still want to join, it will let you join late. But like I said, I'm kind of hungry, so I want to get the show on the road. Sorry about that. Boom. Who was the CEO during the hack? You all should get this right. Party for You is such a good song. Did I get to keep the trampoline? I could have, but I decided not to because the cost of having it disassembled and reassembled was 3 times what I actually paid for the trampoline. So I sold it, and I might buy a new one, might not. Haven't really decided yet. Because I didn't use it all the time. You know, like I should have used it more than I did, but it was a nice little era. Mr. Redacted, you really put your whole into this stream. I appreciate you. I needed this today. I love making the slides for this. Like, obviously, love my assistant to death. She does a great job on them. But I literally feel fucking crazy when I make them. Like, I have like 90 tabs open and I love it. Like, the thrill it gives me. And then it makes streaming more fun because I'm like so excited to tell you all about it. You know what I mean? It just hits different. I'm still not over the Thunderstruck being played on the company computers. Like, it really is a movie. It really, really is. And they really were just doing fraud. Because that's what I didn't know until like 2 days ago. I thought we were just going to talk about how they were hacked and all of these celebrities were in there and notable people. But they like fully were committing fraud against their customers. Fully. No, I love this so much. I will be back weekly for sure. And all of my old streams are on YouTube. So there's literally, I've been doing this for over 3 years now. And they're a lot better now than they used to be. But there's years of me doing this once a week. I think I've only skipped like 5 or 6 times ever in 3 years. What happened to Noel Biderman? Biderman? I don't know how to say his name. Imagine if he started a new dating website. He actually founded Christian Mingle next. No, I'm just kidding. Could you imagine though? Things were so bad in Minnesota this weekend. I needed to escape for real. Things are really not good. I can't believe, like, it is not good, you guys. I've been putting memes about it on Instagram, but I don't think it's helping. Well, there goes my night. How many user accounts were exposed in the breach? The memes help me. Thank you. Art is important, especially in times of hardship. I ordered a printer. Where is that motherfucker? I bought a printer. It was expensive, and it's not here. Where are you? Get it? I also want a bird feeder for my window. But I'm gonna be in Nashville, so I don't want it to get delivered while I'm not in my house. Where is my printer? Where is it? It says it's arriving by Saturday, but it hasn't been shipped yet, so I don't fucking believe you. I don't believe you. I'm not a believer. I'm not speaking with my bestie, and the state of the world has just brought me, and this just brought me some joy, so thank you. Anytime. That's what I'm here for. I think printers are a scam. They are, but I need one, unfortunately. Because just when you need something printed, it's usually urgent. So, like, every time I have to go to, like, the UPS store to print something, it just adds, like, another layer of hell. And I want to be able to print something in color easily. It's not here yet. Why does my thing keep, like, flickering? Have I been cutting in and out tonight? Trader Joe in first place, Saturn Cat Carter, Amanda, Quick Trip, GarbageMan.gov, Amanda, MK Crab, Lesbian Matt Murdoch, Divorce Would Be Easier, Shar, Yo, Madison Ashley, Bex, Rachel, Maddie Graham, Lola, an NB parking lot, a Swedish Hackers parking lot, Ashley Madison Storage Device, Casserole, Mireille, Lewis, and Miss Hill. Nice job, nice job. Memes, anything I missed. What else is there? I usually just steal work resources and do it on the clock. When I worked in corporate, I could just print whatever the fuck I needed there. But now that I work at a school, A, it's summer right now, so I'm not there. And B, printing is like always such an issue. Like we never have ink, we never have paper, we never have any of that. So like I'm already really limited. I can't be printing personal shit too. Even though at school, I always end up getting my own paper and ink from you all. So I feel like even if I wanted to, I would be entitled to, I guess. But it's summer, so even if I could, I can't. You know what I'm saying? I fell off bad. Ashley Madison was hacked. It must feel awful to have their trust betrayed like that. First time in top 10. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. And from a YouTuber, welcome to the tubers. I need to figure out TikTok Live. I never think about it until right in this moment. You know what? We're adding it to the to-do list. We are adding it to the motherfucking to-do list. And I can actually do that. Nice, nice, nice. Figure out TikTok Live issue. All right, team. This was a grand and wonderful time, but I am tired and I am sleepy and I am hungry, so I'm going to call it there. Please join me next week for the youth culture of the 1960s. It'll be a good historic one. Also, I think very applicable to the time we're living in today. Oh wait, me at the ripe age of 17 when all of this went down. I think your meme didn't include. Send it. I'll wait for a few minutes. I didn't mean to put my government name. I meant to put a nickname, but it didn't work. I'm sorry, Queen. It can, like, autofill. So that's annoying. Especially if you've used the app before. It might autofill if you've used it before. I should have mentioned that. Sorry about that. Printers hate me. I can never get them to work. So that's ironically why I really like the printer I have in my classroom at school, because it's like not techie at all. It does not connect to Wi-Fi. It doesn't have a touch screen. It cannot do anything but print in black and white, and you hardwire plug it into your computer and it works for me. So like one time the Wi-Fi was down, I could still print stuff out. So I love that printer. I'm always afraid it's going to get broken over the summer, but it's a good printer. The color one I bought is actually the one I bought is the color version of that one, a slightly newer one, because the one I have in my classroom is like very, very old. Okay. There's no other memes coming. This was a great, great time. Thank you for being here. I will see you next week. This is always one of my favorite parts of my week. Wish me luck in Nashville tomorrow. If you are going to be there, come say hi to me afterwards. I don't really know what it's going to be like, because like I said, I'm a guest, but I'll try and stick around at the end of it so you can like come say hi, we can take pictures or whatever. And yeah, I will see you